purple kitchen art. I'm bringing you tonight something that's made me smile. So we're at the table, and one of the challenges with this particular pour is, and I'm very thankful to the Masse Boys for letting me be the second in the train, also intimidatingly being my first video on this channel, hopefully the first of many. We're doing something happy, and doing something happy doesn't give me enough framework, so I decided what makes me happy. What makes me happy is spinning things, and I've not actually done a spin for a little while. So I've got a cradled wood canvas, which I will stick down in a second with some paint. I have some, I mixed these up last night. I need to give them a little bit of a stir. I have some primary cyan from Pebeo, 24 karat gold, golden, of course, not golden, Deco Art Decor Metallics, some Pebeo iridescent green yellow, some Pebeo iridescent blue green, some, I can't remember, bright yellow from somewhere, might be Pebeo too, some Median to titanium white, a tiny little bit of Daler-Rowney purple, and I've got some drips, and I'm not quite sure what drips I want to use, whether I want to use the pinky drips or the bluey drips, because these are all leftover paints from a couple of things, and the last few I did were predominantly on the pinker side, and that's what made the pink drips. And then, of course, the ones before that were blue, so they were on the blue side. I think tonight I want to do just some throwing paint at canvas onto a base, give it a spin. Not sure I want to do anything more complicated. I'm not sure I want to do a flip cup. I don't really have a style. I love playing with things. So let's have a play. In terms of consistency, tonight we're pretty much going, let me put that down there, we're going for mound and then falls in. So we're going for something that's quite loose. The painting I did before this lot with these paints, I did blowout. So for a blowout you need quite a thin consistency, so it makes a ribbon and immediately goes back in on itself. Right, I've made the choice. I'm going to go blue drips, I think. Looking at my colour palette, I have a lot of green. As I say, I've got this little bit of gold, yellow. So these are all very analogous. A little bit of white, and a tight, literally the teeniest, weeniest little bit of purple ever. Like, because I think if I put it on this, although this is very good, it's just going to melt and it's going to not be. But I have got more than enough paint to give me coverage, so I'm not sure it actually matters. I might just use this as flow extender, actually. Something that makes me smile is putting ribbons of colour on something. I'm actually going to go with a white pillow, blue flow extender around the outside, and spin it out, see what happens, so that we can do the moving, because I quite like it when I get ribbons and maybe a little bit of dragging. I do. One of the things I love when I do art is I love a spin, and I haven't had a spin in over a year and a half, and it has probably been that long. When I was playing with trying to do some not blooms per se, but definitely cell activation stuff with stuff that you can get in the UK. Because if you have not guessed from my accent, and yes, I know I sound a bit like Lee, although he's from up north and I'm from down south, I actually live in the UK. So we do not have things like American flood flow troll. We, as I'm sure you'll know if you follow people that are doing the fluid art boutique stuff, we have our troll. So my mix tonight is also our troll and PVA, because PVA is essentially our cheap thing. And these two together create quite a creamy, nice pouring medium that you can then adjust. There are a lot of people that use a craft PVA. This is actually a contractor's PVA that I think I'm going to try something different once I've used this up. But I know it goes really well one-to-one PVA and our version of Floetrol, which is called Our Troll, waterborne paint conditioner. So that is what I'm using tonight. All of these were made up with 1 part, ooh, that's got something in it. 1 part paint to 1 part pouring medium, although I think with the Pebeos I used 2 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint, because of course Pebbio is a thick old paint. If I needed to, I just bunged in some water, which I've got in this nice little droppy bottle, because that came with some clear washable PVA. Don't use washable PVA in your art, especially if you're using silicone, because then when you go to clean the silicone off, you rub off half your painting. Tell me how I find that one out. So let us get to doing some art. Right, that's better. I've added a chunk more water, and I've now got flowing off the stick, mound and dissolving, which is what you want for a flow extender or a base coat, because you want it ever so slightly thinner than what you put on top, so that things will flow, it will flow, and it will carry your wet edge. I'm sure if you've been following the Masse Boys, and I'm so thankful that they're back. Actually, I've really missed the boys creating so much. So I'm very, very much, as I say, honoured to be in the train. I'm actually looking forward to watching their video before mine comes on. Mine's going to be on at 11:30 in my time, which of course is 6:30 Central for yourselves. And the reason, of course, I'm putting paint on my spinner is so that my cradle wood board sticks to it, because otherwise it might fly off when I spin it. And I've also got a nice little trug, which will catch my drips, because one of the things, like where I think Gina and Karen all say, oh yeah, you don't need to spin it fast. It's one of my joys. I love giving it a bit of welly. So I'm going to. Right, let's just make sure we're centered. We'll just move that over there. That will now, when I spin that, that's not going anywhere. Right, so let us put down a little bit of glop in the middle. I'm just going to use my fingers to spread this out, because this bit doesn't really matter. If I was wanting to be a little bit more delicate and make it a little bit flatter, I would use a spatula. Again, getting the OXO spatula that all you guys in the States love. It's not so easy over here. They're not cheap, because of course they have to come from the US. So I have various bits and pieces, but sometimes I just find it's easier to do it with your fingers. And of course, again, getting that coverage on the outside so that the paint flows down the sides proper is all good. This is where also I'm running on I may be speeding this bit up, because I've only got sort of 15 minutes maximum for this video. But hopefully, now this is ready, let me just go and find my torch. Grab off my painty fingers. Get rid of my air bubbles. One of the things that you do get with PVA, unfortunately, is air bubbles. It is quite bubbly. I've also got a chunk. So, of course, as everybody knows, you get rid of your chunks before you do your spinning or any foot or flow, because it's not going to be good for your resulting art. So let me just grab my tweezers, hook that out. There we go. Oh, a bit more bubbly. Well, that might be a thing. Let's just grab that bit too. Yes, that's a bit of a thing. Awesome. As you can tell, sometimes I'm not really ready to actually throw the paint on, but some more bubbles. We're going to go for it. Let's just get rid of those. Of course, once you've started, I'm now committed to base coat. So because I've got a relatively dark colour on the bottom, I'm going to go for some nice bright yellow first. And I'm just going to do this. And this will mean almost certainly that I have some of this base coat colour incorporated, because this is a nice, quite a nice blue grey. I'm not afeared that it's going to show. I must admit, although I love my flip cups, I love my other techniques that you can do, I actually quite like just dribbling. I am going to wreck this, I think, because again, that's fun. Oh, drippy, 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 very nice, like that. Put some ribbons on too. Can I have some ribbons off my stick, please? Thank you. Blue green. Well, that's nice and ribbony, isn't it? You can so tell I'm from Southeast London with my in it. More than very nice, lovely. Then we're going to go to dark blue. As I said, these are all quite analogous, so They should go well, quite well together. And I picked where I'd had the, basically I've added the cyan blue and the blue-green Pebeo to what I had left over from the last lot, which was where I got the pink drips from. A little bit of gold, all good. This little bit of purple, because it's like, this is going to go into the purple drips and all the pink drips. But that just gives you your contrast, because of course purple is the split complement, in fact the exact complement of purple and yellow are the complement of each other. They are opposite each other on the wheel. So they will pop off each other. And just to do, I'm just going to put a little bit more yellow because I want that to be on top of the purple. So now I've got a complete mess. That's cool. So I'm just going to grab my comb and I'm going to take the 3-prong, I think, and just go wee, 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 wee. Nice. Do I want to do one in the middle? Why not? There we go. And so that's immediately made me smile. I know I'll probably lose quite a bit of this, but that's not a problem. Let's give it a spin. Ooh, and I love the fact that I can give it this container. I can give it some welly, and it turns out all right because all my paint gets captured. I'm not covered in splatters. You can't see me, but I am not. And this looks like that's really rather good. It needs a little bit more because we've got a little bit of a dry corner there, and so we're just gonna give it a little bit of assistance. So we'll give a little bit of assistance there. Don't want to drip on the painting. A little bit of assistance just there. I think the other 2 corners are cool actually. Just give that another little baby spin. I don't know if you can hear that. My Alexa's just reminding me that it is my bin day and I need to take my bins out, my trash cans. Ooh, that's cool. Let's just give it, see if we, no, I want to see if I can get that base coat corner off. Let's give it a little bit more oomph. Oh yeah, we've got paint flying, we're all good. I do love a good bit of paint flying. That is, ooh, that is a very weird thing in the middle of there. Is that a thing? That is a thing. But it's okay because we can heal it by just poking at it. I really like that. That has definitely made me smile. Give it a bit of a torch. And then I'll take you down for a close-up. The one thing about using drips is I've just had to spend a couple of minutes picking bits out. Because, of course, one of the things I was not careful of 100% is sieving your drips. Please do put them through. I use a tea strainer myself, and I'd forgotten with this blue base, I'd not done that. So I've just spent a couple of minutes picking the bits out. So let me grab you down for a close-up. Here we are in close-up. It's got a lovely bling on it. I've got to get my edges because I've got some bits where the edges themselves are dry, but that's no big deal. You can just fill that in. I don't know if you can see, there's some lovely bling going on over here in that blue with the gold. But yeah, this is definitely has made me smile. Well, that was definitely something that made me smile. Unfortunately, no dried results because this being my first ever train, I've done this the night before. There's no way this is going to be dry by the time I have to edit it this evening and upload it because I can't do instantaneous paint drying. Thank you so much again for the Masse Boys for organising this train. Crafty Chicken Mum is following me. I'll put her thingy bobby down in the description so that you know where to go. And I hope that you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all again soon.